Oh, hi, everyone. It's podcast time, right? Yeah, that's what my clock says. So it's
Oh,
Supercast Brothers. Hey there, Zantok, otherwise known as Lister here. Jonno, otherwise known as John there. He didn't know I'll start the podcast this way, so I threw him off there. Ha, finally, I get to do one. So, yeah, we're here. It's the second, what's this called? On topic, that's right.
on
Second
topic.
on topic of the season. Curiously enough, this episode it's gone through some revisions in concept
Mhm.
and in timing a few times because we're going to be talking about Sakurai, Masahiro Sakurai, the man, the myth, the legend himself, and
I love that guy.
yeah, he's great. And his recent YouTube channel, which is titled Masahiro Sakurai and Creating Games. It's not the best title for a YouTube channel, I'm gonna be honest. But hey, it's doing well for itself. I gotta say, it's doing well. Funny thing is, this episode was originally going to be just us speculating about, like, oh, what could Sakurai be working on next? And we were just gonna talk about a bunch of shit, probably cover some things he'd done recently. And then we're just like, we don't know about this. And then Sakurai announced this YouTube channel. It's like, well, I don't throw that episode into now. Hell yeah.
hmm
And we were going to make it be our first episode of the season. But then, like, days before we were set to record, Sakurai had done the episode where he talked about, where was it? He talked about
Kirby
one of the games.
Superstar.
Yeah, Kirby Superstar. And he said, on my next game concept, we'll be talking about the original Super Smash Bros. Just like, well, we gotta wait until then.
Yeah,
And
we should observe this episode. Yeah.
what got uploaded just not that long ago in recording time? That
2 days
one.
ago from the start of recording, yeah. The
Yeah.
Smash Brothers one.
Hell
Sweet.
yeah.
Mhm.
Now, there'll be some. Now, of course, with the way the recording world works, by the time this episode actually comes out to everybody, there are going to be more episodes published on his channel. So we're not going to be able to cover everything that's been released up to the point of this episode being released, unfortunately. What will really suck is if the Melee episode gets uploaded by then. Oops. Maybe we'll go back and re-record this. Who knows? I don't. But yeah, that's what we're going to be covering today. First off, though, as we like to do on topics nowadays, let's check in. Jonno, what you been doing? How's the last 6 weeks been since we did the NES Smash video?
The NES Smash video, that's gotten legs
Which
of its own.
was amazing.
That was a great start to the series.
That
I
is
think
my
easily
favorite
just
season
beat out.
opener we've had.
Yeah, me too. It's among my favorite episodes we've ever done, and I would like to do more of that in the future. And I'm glad that that's being received in the views too. I mean, we didn't do a lot of promotion yet, but I mean, it's naturally gaining views in the tens, which is a lot for us. So it's more exciting than maybe it should be. But I don't fucking care. It's exciting to me.
We haven't done promotion on an episode yet, and it's in the double digits. And our highest episode doesn't even have 50 views yet. I'm excited. It's like, oh shit, what? Fuck yeah.
Yeah, good start to a season. I'm really happy with that. Yeah. So good times. Personally, I mean, the first episode of the season, we talked about my new job, which is still going by great. I've been there for about a month now. And I was thinking about this earlier today, just what a quality of life improvement it is just to work with competent people who like you and can respect you, and vice versa, which is hard to come by in the work field these days, and that's all I will say on that front. And also just and also just being able to work from home most of the time. I mean, you're still actively working an 8-hour day, a 9-hour day, but there's a lot of room, as you know, to do what you would like in between all of that shit. So, you know what? I'm doing something on my work computer in the office. Then I zip over here for half an hour and do something I need to get done personally or on a freelance basis. And I'm keeping up with myself more. I feel mentally healthier.
There's a lot less feeling of crunch.
Mm-hmm. And just the idea of being elsewhere, and there's a lot of time when you are in an office or you're at a building for work where there's all this spare time that you're not doing something within a day, just naturally. that you can't really do a whole lot. Like, you're at an actual building for your job. Like when my previous job was rental services, but I was located in a fucking closet in a gym. What can I do? Work out? Who's gonna do that? That's it. I mean, either that or sit in your office and play on your phone. Here, there's a whole lot more to do. Yeah.
Yeah, and on top of that, a lot of times in an office environment, if it doesn't look like you're busy with something, then they'll take that as you're not working, and it's going to count against you. It's like sometimes you legit don't have something to do. It's like, what do you expect me to do? Like, come on, I have nothing.
A lot of it is a lot of
everything I need to do is waiting on somebody else to finish a step so that it can even go to me. Back when I worked at Boy Scout camp years and years and years
ago. A long time ago.
And one of the things they would say there in a situation like that is that if you have time to lean, like you have nothing to do, you're just standing there, then you have time to clean. It's like, excuse me?
No
Get out
fucking
of here.
Thank you.
So it's basically just like be busy whenever the boss, like act like you're busy whenever the boss shows up, or it's gonna look bad on you. It's like, I don't like that. First of all, that just makes things a nervous wreck. Like in my office, I wanted to have desks that was like kind of like away from things where people aren't gonna be like having a lot of foot traffic behind me because it just like set off my nerves. But now work from home, I don't got that. Yeah, I have my work computer right here in front of me, and I have it things open. People can message me at any time and whatnot. But I'm here, and if I need to go upstairs and do dishes for like 10 minutes, I can take care of that and come back down. Nobody's throwing a goddamn fit. Nobody's just like, I see you haven't clicked anything in 5 seconds. Come on.
Yeah.
Some companies, though, are installing that kind of bullshit. And if you work for a company like that, get out. Get out right now.
Yeah, you hear the stories on the news. Luckily, the proctoring is very, very little. They trust you to do your job. They're not going to hack into your fucking camera and see if you're sitting at your desk.
So
which some companies do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was only speaking for my company, which so far has been very pleasant.
It interests me. That's when some companies are just like, in your meetings, we want you to turn your camera on. It's like, you don't need to know that I'm here. I joined the meeting. I'm here. You don't need to physically see me. Like, come on. It's stupid.
Yeah, and that's not mandatory at my place either.
Yeah.
Most of the time I'll do it as a courtesy, but I'm not being forced,
Funnily enough, before we went to work from home, my company was trying to have us do cameras because we would have one meeting room, but then we have people in like other offices in Missouri that would be on the same meeting, and they were wanting us to turn on our cameras for that. It's like, no. First of all, you'd have a camera that has a whole meeting room, which is kind of like 6 to 10 people. You're not going to be able to see shit. What the fuck are you on about? Thankfully, the guy pushing that was removed because he was not. He really wasn't doing anything worthwhile for what his position was supposed to be. But then COVID ended up happening, and they have never asked us to go on camera. It's like, thank Christ.
Yeah, you don't need to know that my cat's running around on my shoulders or I'm eating macaroni and cheese or whatever the fuck.
And not everybody gets dressed up. It's like, I'm not going in the office. I don't need to be putting on like a fucking button up. I can just wear normal fucking clothes.
Yeah.
I don't need to be in like a set stock standard office.
No, absolutely not. And again, you do hear the stories, right? Like a guy who's suing his previous place of employment for this was in the news recently for asking him to leave his camera on literally for 8 hours while he was clocked in every day.
First of all, that's battery life. That's so much battery life. Second of all, that's feels like invasion of privacy to me.
Yeah, and that's the basis upon which he's suing. It's his private home and it's an invasion of privacy.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think it was his personal computer as well, which made it even worse.
Oh hell no! Like if it's a work computer, I can see a little bit of argument. Like for some of the stuff that they're trying to do for tracking in some places, It's a work device. So I can see their arguments that they're trying to make with it, but also go fuck yourself.
Yep. And that's really it. Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot else crazy. Just the usual planning for the festival, going to therapy for how far back I am and my submissions now on Smashtopia Wiki.
For a second there, I was just
other,
like, "You're going to therapy? I didn't know this." Like, oh no, you're okay.
yeah.
I see what you're doing.
It's a very healthy thing. I mean, if you want to go there and just talk to somebody, feel free. Not knocking it, but that was a joke.
Yes. We do not knock on therapy here.
No.
Not does everybody need it? Not strictly speaking, but if you feel you need it, go.
Yeah,
Absolutely go.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you can afford it too. I mean, that's a whole other tangent, though, for our lovely country. And that's kind of where we're at. Just trying to catch up. And now that I'm working from home, there's an element of feeling more stable and able to do so. Just not on the Smashtopia wiki yet.
I feel like it's been a running theme so far this season. It's just like, yeah, I'm still behind on Smashtopia. It's like,
I was ahead for over 7 months, so maybe it'll be 7 months.
That's not strictly speaking true. You would get behind a little bit, but you were never behind by like more than 15 days. But then you would catch up with like 25 submissions and across 2 or 3 days. It's like, dude, boy, what? But now you're behind by several months. Just like your deadline is December 31st. Anything after that, and you've lost the challenge. I've already completed what I was doing. I have everything already made up through the last week of December, and it's just on an uploading schedule. There is one. I'll tell you this. There is one special thing that I'm working on. One extra I'm planning to upload on December 31st. My grand finale, and I'll tell you this hint. It's not a character. My grand finale is not a character, and it's not a stage.
Okay. But it's going to be something very detailed, I'm sure.
It's going to be special. And it's not going to be a jokey special like Charade was on April Fool's Day. This is going to be legit.
Is it going to be me?
No.
My God.
It's going to be me as an enemy submission. I have 1% health, but I have an insta-kill. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, it's just you're not 1% health. You're infinite health with an insta-kill.
Yes. Don't cross me. I'm like the Orn.
Yeah. Yeah, don't cross you. Beware of your rules.
Yes. Beware of my rules. Jesus Christ, that guy. We're gonna get blocked for this, but I don't use Twitter.
I don't care about man.
Like,
I'm already enough myself.
The Bayonetta controversy. I'm not. It kind of. I'm not gonna go deep in this. All I'm gonna say is, boy, PR needs to like take Kamiya's phone away from him whenever things are going down, because he's not a good PR man at all. For years we were just like, oh, it's the funny guy. He gets angry and he blocks people. Isn't he funny? That was just like, dude, you actually have a problem. Maybe you shouldn't have Twitter.
I called him the Kanye of video game development, which felt apropos until Kanye took it up like 3 more levels in the last week.
Yeah, so now don't compare anything to Kanye, because you're just inviting trouble. Yeah. Don't do that. Don't do that. God. You know, part of me is glad that we're probably always going to be small time, because that means we can never develop an ego and cause problems.
Yeah, we
will never have corrupt controversy, because we don't have a chance to let our egos grow too big, because nobody's watching our shit. It's great. It's great. We're immune.
Unless it's what makes us
this
popular.
This will age poorly in 5 years.
Yeah,
I'm giving the internet the chance. You have this clip. Just save it for like 5-10 years.
Oh, they will find it. They will find it in a day if
Yeah.
anything ever happened.
1 week later,
Mm-hmm.
and we're just murdering each other.
Literally this time.
Yes.
Not just as a joke. Not just as you grabbing your knife and stabbing down on camera. Um, oh, excellent.
All right, but so that's what's been going on with you. With me, it's just more the same. Nothing exciting, which is good as far as I'm concerned. I've been playing video games. Last time there's actually a game I forgot to mention. I think because I forgot to mention Splatoon 3, or I think it was Splatoon 3. I
Oh
forgot
yeah.
to mention. But I zipped through that game. It was real fun. They had a mix of Octo expansion levels with classic Splatoon hero mode levels. There are a couple of level types and it's like, all right, we're kind of doing too much of this. Let's dial back the destroy all the targets type of missions. We don't need to have this many. But I was also surprised that some of the level archetypes that were so prevalent in Splatoon 1 and 2 that just were not in Splatoon 3, or at least barely at all. There's only one Fluter level, which for me was amazing because those things ramp up my anxiety and it's like, I hate them. But it was just surprising, just the changes how some levels were. There was nothing like do Rainmaker or Tower Control. It's like, goddamn. But I don't think you finished it yet, so I don't want to really say like too much of what there was. But I thought the boss fights were pretty fun. There's one in particular that I thought was super fucking easy, but it was also the most fun for me personally.
Nice.
And then the final boss, great. Second favorite final boss fight in Splatoon. I don't count Octo Expansion because that's not a boss. That's just Turf War. But
Yeah.
It ranks solidly in between Splatoon 1 and Splatoon in between Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2, which is at the bottom because it sucks.
That's right.
What? Oh, I see. Is that
I was just
crystal?
saying,
That's crystal shards.
Yep. It's a little too glary to really make a difference. I thought it was going to be clever.
I didn't buy the expansion pack for NSO. It's like, nah.
Yeah, that's fair.
But beyond that, obviously, I've talked about before, I've been playing Final Fantasy 14, and recently I finally caught up to the main story. I made it through base game. I made it through all 4 expansions. I am caught up, and I have to wait several months for the next piece of the story. It's like, motherfucker. God damn it.
Nice.
Right now we're on patch 2.25. The next big one will be 2.3, and I think that's speculated to be released in like December, January. So it'll be a while before I get any new story content, which is unfortunate. But yeah, that's how it goes.
What was it? I think. Oh yeah, I remember watching you stream that one day before recording an episode, and it was a scene where you were chasing Vothri, and I was like, "The fuck is this guy?"
God, fuck Vothri. God, he's so terrible. He's not a bad, like, he's an okay villain, but I fucking hate that guy. It's like, no, I don't. I want you to die. You can just fuck off. Fuck Vothri.
Yeah, don't search that on Google.
The main villain, though, of that expansion, because that was Shadowbringers, the 3rd expansion. The main villain, so fucking good. The best villain that they've had in the game.
Sweet. I am down with that. Yeah, I want to check it out one of these days.
It's pretty fun.
Maybe they'll vote for me to stream.
Well, you mentioned it, but we are right now in our a Discord server that we just have with friends. We are currently doing nominations for what game we are going to force Jonno here to play. He's going to be doing his very first stream. I don't know when that stream will be because we haven't even started the voting process yet. We're still just collecting nominee games. But that'll be fun. We've done it for me twice. We've done it for Way Out Trail once, and then we also did it for... Well, they haven't been on the show yet, but we've mentioned them a few times. Azza, otherwise known as Addles, They did their own poll. For me, the
Mm-hmm.
ones Bug Fables won the first poll, and then what won the second poll?
Good question.
Oh, it was Zero Escape, 999.
Oh yeah, yeah,
That
yeah,
won
yeah,
the second
yeah,
poll. And then for Way Out Trail, Danganronpa 2 won that poll, and for Aza, it was Muramasa.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
We'll see what
Yeah,
wins for you.
we will. Danganronpa, Muramasa, and Zero Escape are all great picks for the people that, and Bug Fables conceptually was as well.
Bug Fables
Um,
should have been a good pick, but
mhm.
about like halfway through, I was kind of on it, and then they gave me a stealth segment. I was like, nah, I'm done.
Right.
I'm done.
But I will say each of those choices could have been worse, so I'm hopeful that I'm not going to get some crazy bullshit. But also they know me, so they might give me some crazy bullshit. And I am keeping the Dream Daddy simulator. I'm doing all that shit. Whatever they want to throw at me, okay. We'll see what happens.
Uh,
At
uh,
least it will be an easy stream.
that's fair. That's fair. And
Mhm.
the rules with these polls is that you don't have to complete the game. The rule is you just have to stream a good session worth of the game. For
Mhm.
some games, that might only be an hour or two, depending on what the game is. But generally speaking, we're looking at 3 to 4 hours, and
Mhm. Yeah,
so
that's fair.
that's going to be a thing. And who knows? Maybe if we get this timed right with a podcast episode, we could even promote that whenever it's going to happen. But considering how we tend to try and record things a little bit in advance, I don't think that's going to work out.
Looking at a recording schedule now, yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Unless I deliberately say
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I'm going to do it on this day," and then coincidentally, we'll see. We'll see how. I think that it might time out well with something in the future. We'll just see how it goes.
Yeah. All right.
But
Well,
yeah.
I think it's time. We've chatted about each other enough. Now let's chat
Mhm.
about the man who's the reason why we are all here, President Abraham Lincoln. Wait, no, that's notes for a different podcast. Masahiro Sakurai, a creator.
A
That's what
god.
he does. Sakurai
Yeah.
creates.
Mhm.
It just makes
Mhm.
sense. He's a game designer. He creates things, but
Mhm.
he's made some good stuff over the years. His YouTube channel actually revealed to me that he's made even less Kirby games than I thought he had. I thought he had made all the Kirby games up to Air Ride, but no, he didn't even make like Dreamland 2 or Dreamland 3. So that was surprising
Mhm.
to me. But
Yeah.
it's the man behind Kirby's Adventure, Kirby Superstar, Kirby's Dreamland, Kirby Air Ride, all damn good Kirby games. He made the Smash the Brothers. He made Kid Icarus Uprising. He made Meteos, and then he made more Smash the Brothers. But
An RC racer adventure.
well, he had concepts for that, but it didn't get made. Unfortunately. Unfortunately. And it wasn't a racer, it was an RC robot that hacked cameras.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
But he's made a lot of good stuff. The only thing that really seems like out there to me is Meteos. But to be fair, I haven't played it. I actually tried looking at a little bit of gameplay of it before we started this today, and I was just confused. I was like, what is happening in this game? I don't. What? Hold up.
I hear it's a good game, but I was never good at puzzles, so.
Yeah, I kind of want to try some just to so that I can understand it because it's one of his things, and who knows, maybe we can do something with that somehow
Mhm.
Smash related. I don't know. Like at the very least, we can make a spirit or an enemy out of this guy. I guess.
Mhm. Yeah. Out of Masahiro himself. One of these days, make a character.
God, I don't. We've joked about taking real people and making them the characters, but we really joked with Tony Hawk. But I don't know about actually doing it.
Not LeBron. Not
What?
Shaq.
Why did you suggest LeBron first?
Because of
What?
multiverses.
Oh right, I forgot he was in that. Jesus. fucking
Yeah. Yeah.
multiverses, man. It's a cool game. It's a cool game. But
Yeah.
it's fucking LeBron. Okay.
Unfortunately, I play LeBron quite well in that game. He's like
I
my
I
third main.
haven't played much since the alpha. I played a little bit, but the alpha when they had like that couple days alpha test, so I did a stream of it with Ozza. That's when I played it, and I liked Arya. Um,
Mhm.
I liked Taz. Trying to think who else I really liked. But Arya was one of the main ones that I really liked playing as. But now they got fucking Gizmo in, they got Stripe, they got Rick and Morty, which I've never really watched. But I've had people tell me I would like it. I'm just like, I look at the animation style and I'm just like, I don't want to see that animation style. It's just like, no. Sorry, if I'm gonna judge a fucking cartoon on the animation style, and if I don't like the style, I'm sorry, Adventure Time. I'm not watching you.
Yeah.
I've heard it's actually really
things,
good,
probably so.
but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to be
Yeah.
able to like what I'm actually
Hmm.
seeing, and I just
Hmm.
don't like that
Hmm.
style. And that's just me.
Yeah.
But you know who is
So
good style? Masahiro Sakurai.
yeah, the way that he dresses, I mean, he looks like he's 20 when he's 50 something. Hey, what a guy.
It's like
Timeless.
he has this YouTube channel now where when the Smash Bros. Pick of the day was ending, he was just like, "Oh, this is ending, but something new started." We were all just like, "Game announcement? Game announcement? What are we getting? Uprising 2?" It was never going to be an Uprising 2, but we were excited, and then he's just like, "I have a YouTube channel now." We're just like, "What? That wasn't on my bingo card." Okay. But it's been
No.
really cool. Like it started out with him just kind of talking about like what he's done in the game industry, the games that he's worked on, and kind of like what the channel would be about. And it's about game design. I mean, obviously, but it's not about coding or how to make a game. It's more talking about what goes into making a game, concepts that
Hmm.
anybody should keep in mind about risk and reward, squeeze and release, the concept of lag, game essence, designing animations.
Yeah.
He goes into all these topics that I think are worth knowing, whether you are just wanting to get into game design, whether you've been in it for a couple years, or even if you've been doing it for like 10 to 20 years. It never hurts with something like this, I think, to just like to get a refresher on some things.
Hmm.
Knowing the basics is critical in anything.
Yeah. Precisely, and I like it too because it's laid out in layman's terms.
Yeah, it's
You really
very easy
could
to
be
understand.
literally a beginner. I watched every last video. I mean, I will continue to watch every video that he puts out, but I've watched each video that he's put out so far, which is, I don't know, like 6, 12, 18, like almost 30 of them, and I wasn't confused by any of them, regardless of the topic. And I like
27.
how he's approaching it. 27, yeah. And I like how he's approaching it that way because he must know the majority of his audience are going to be fans of Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
They're just people who play games. They're not people who make them. They will probably never make them. But he's appealing to the masses while also being like, there's going to be this very small subset of people watching it that will get into game design, that will benefit from this greatly, and then that maybe by some sort of photosynthesis, whatever, just the gaming masses will also garner something from it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like he explains things in a real easy way, and like we already knew that this man was a genius. We already knew
Mm-hmm.
that. But watching these
Mm-hmm.
videos and seeing his takes on things and him going into, especially when he's going into his concepts and designs for the games he's made, starting with Kirby's Dream Land, it's just become even more glaring how fucking genius this guy is. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
holy
Mm-hmm.
shit. The things Miyamoto goes up to him and it's just like, "So you've made some Kirby games, I see." It's like, "Yes." You know what I've really wanted to do with Mario, but I haven't been able to figure out? No. Multiplayer. Okay. I want you to put multiplayer in Kirby. It's a slower game. That can work, right? And Sakurai's just like, It used to be a slower game until I added copy abilities. Fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And then he
Mm-hmm.
goes and designs a whole new concept for how multiplayer can work in platformers with not only with the helper system, but also with the concept of, oh, player 2 got too far away? I'm going to teleport you right back. I forget what he called it, but he fucking made that shit. It's like, dude,
Mm-hmm.
how
Mm-hmm.
many games now that are doing multiplayer platforming have that in?
Mm-hmm.
And it came from him. It's like, motherfucker. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Okay, now given what I'm about to say is from a bird's eye view perspective, I'm not saying I know everything about this. I don't want to discredit anybody, but from my view, as an outsider, Miyamoto was a great creative mind. Iwata was a great technical mind, and Sakurai lives in both of those worlds. He has a foot in each, and you're really taking both
Additionally,
sides
the
in.
designing mind.
Mm-hmm.
Like he
Yeah,
understands
him.
all these concepts. One of his early topics was stop for big moments, which sometimes from his titles you're not really sure what he's going to be talking about. Like he has one that's called Down with Lag, and you think it's going to be like, oh, he's going to be talking about how lag is terrible, but no, that's not what it's about at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then stop for big moments literally just about like, hey, if you're playing a game and you destroy the enemy, you want there to be a little impact on that. If your character dies and you just appear in a flash, you're just like, what the fuck? What happened? There's been times when I'm playing
Mm-hmm.
Final Fantasy 14 where I just noticed like, wait, I'm dead? What the fuck killed me? No, I didn't. I
Mm-hmm.
was in a AOE or whatever. So what happened? And I'm
Yeah.
left confused. But he's literally just talking about just like players need to know that something happened.
Yeah.
Put a put
Yeah.
a put a slowdown effect in there. Put a big old explosion. Put a nice little crisp sound effect in there. That way the player gets drawn to the just like, oh, that hit me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
whoops.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, to the point where, you wish that he developed more games than are on his resume. But when you look at the ones that are there, you're like, okay, this is why, because he cultivates them in such a way that they become years-long projects each time because
Let's be
they're
real.
given
The real
care.
reason Sakurai
Yeah.
hasn't been able to make more games is because he keeps being pulled back in Smash Brothers. Let's
Yep.
be honest. It's
Yeah, and
Smash
then
Brothers is the reason Sakurai hasn't gotten to do more games.
he's admitted as well that he is a complete perfectionist.
Yeah,
So the amount of time that they spend on Smash Brothers is going to be more than any other developer would put into it, but for the better,
yeah.
as we've seen with every game but Smash 4, which Nintendo had their hands in. I'm quite interested in watching that one when it comes around.
I'm interested in
Because
fucking all of them. Like Kirby Air Ride, I'm actually really excited for because I fucking love Air Ride. Air Ride's great.
mm-hmm. I wish we got another one. Good lord. Yeah,
Yeah,
I hope so too. I hope so too. And yeah, and I like that every so often we also just get like random shit that
Meteos.
has nothing to do. Yeah, like Medios, and
Meteos.
also just
I looked it up a little
yeah.
bit earlier. It's like Meteos was just like literally some guy was just like, "Hey Sakurai, I want you to make a puzzle game." Sakurai's just like, "Okay."
Yep.
Well, the falling block genre is boring. It has had any like it hasn't had the thing I saw the guy read was like him saying the falling block genre has had no innovation since Tetris Attack, or Panel de Pon. And I was like, holy shit, he mentioned that game. Fucking love that game.
Mm-hmm,
And then he's
mm-hmm.
like, what if the blocks go up and then down? It's like, huh? Okay. And like the story is your aliens fighting against the planet Meteos or something. Again, I only looked at it real briefly.
Mhm.
And it actually is a series. There's 2 other games at least, but he only worked on the first one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the fighting alloys from Smash probably took a few design characteristics
Actually,
from Medios.
one of them does look like the I guess it's probably like the main Meteos race, the Geolites.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
can't remember which one. It's either like I think it's the red one. Looks like it. The
Mm-hmm.
one like whatever has the
Yeah.
little horns.
Yeah, the one that mimics Mario.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but and also just in the variety of the videos that are present on this channel, like you're looking at things like frame rate and what's in a frame, risk and reward, game development is in gaming. There's a lot of lecture style approach to things that in lesser hands would be dry as a bone.
Yeah,
But then you also get into
he's quick and snappy with things.
hmm
He puts up games as examples of what you're seeing. And I've thought about like trying to write down every game that makes an appearance. You know, somebody's out there doing it, but it's like, good God. And anytime I see a game that I recognize that he's highlighting, it's like, oh, Sakurai knows this game.
and that's another thing too. I like that he is very straightforward. He's blunt with his stories. He gives it to you how it is. So you're like, oh, this is why this didn't happen in the original Kirby game, or this is why this didn't happen in Smash, or
Yeah.
because some business relation fell through, some development. There's a lot of things that gamers take for granted that he is laying out from a business perspective and saying, this is what happened. Take it as it is.
Speaking of business perspectives and things falling through, the original Smash Brothers. We got that topic where he talked about like what went into creating Smash 64, and I mentioned how we waited till that episode went up before we could do this one, and it's a good fucking thing we did because we got some real cool information out of it. Smash very easily may not have happened. It only happened because of the original idea for Kirby Air Ride, which was apparently a fucking snowboarding game, fell through, and Earthbound 3, or Mother 3 rather, was also having its own issues at the same time. And they were just like, shit, we need the game fast. What do you got? And he's like, well, I got two ideas. One of them's going to take like 2 years to do. The other one's going to take like half a year to do. Let's do this fighting game idea. And it's like, okay, so we got these generic characters. Make a concept out of it. And he's like, yep. And then later it's just like, but what if? And I don't remember if it was some of this video or if it was information somewhere, because I saw a comment that somebody wrote about it saying it's just like, they made after they had like what they were calling Dragon King, or like that's what fans have been calling it. We don't know if that was just like an internal name or something, but it's called Dragon King: The Fighting Game even in that video. But they made a mock-up with Mario, I think Donkey Kong, Samus, and Fox fighting, and they showed it to Nintendo, and they're just like, we want to do this. Nintendo's just like, holy shit. Okay.
Yep.
And then they're like they figured out the rest of the roster, the starting roster is, and then they made the 4 secret characters after that. Like there were theories from years ago that we thought that, like, because we had seen a screenshot of the game 4, and people were just like, oh, was Captain Falcon added to the game because he could use the model from the generic fighter? Turns out that's not the case at all. Because it doesn't look like him at all. Like the attacks certainly, some of the attacks match him, but some of the attacks match Mario or Fox or Samus. But no, Captain Falcon was added in because they used Samus as a base. That's what it was.
Yeah, mind blowing. And I like how the development team at Nintendo really liked it, because they're the ones who are game testing and gamers. And then
the marketing,
you want
hated
them to
it.
fly?
We can't have Mario beating up Pikachu. That's animal abuse. It's like, I get it, but PETA wasn't around yet, so it's fine. Jokes.
Yeah,
obviously, but
that mark was 40 minutes in, or okay, so we know where to cut. So
we're leaving that in.
Just kidding.
We don't have viewers. It's fine. And PETA as an organization is so fucked up.
Yep.
But
yeah, that's a whole other story.
Yeah, it's amazing just like how many things not only had to go right for Smash, because the other game in contention was this little RC robot game where you would hack the cameras and do shit, which I kind of like to just like internally envision that as being Rob from the NES, like that robot. I just kind of like to envision that. But also so many things had to go wrong with those other games, with Mother 3 having its issues. And with the original Kirby Air Ride idea falling through. They had to choose that idea. Nintendo had to like it. They had to get permission to use these different characters. It's crazy because like if this was only happening now for the first time, the Pokemon Company, we know that they're strict with their shit. We have no Pokemon amiibo outside the characters that are added in Smash. And then in Super Mario Maker, every amiibo gets a little costume, and then a bunch of other characters get little costumes, and they'll have like some of them will have like little extra animations or sound effects. But the Pokemon ones get nothing. They get nothing special. They're just a costume. But then there's a costume with the three original starters, and they get special shit. So it's like the Pokemon Company is very confusing with this kind of stuff. So who knows why they allowed it back then? Maybe just because like things were brand new. I don't think we even had Gen 2 out yet at the time, so it was still just Gen 1. So they were just like, yeah, sure, this is the game. We don't really care. But nowadays, it would be like, you want Mario to punch Pikachu? No! That's animal abuse! It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, we got to see footage of the Dragon King concept, which has never been seen before. It's like, holy fucking shit.
Mm-hmm.
I thought briefly about like, what if we made that a character? But it's like, I don't think we can make that a character. We have literally nothing to build off of there.
He can make it a character if he really wanted to, one day. I would be fine with that. What I'm talking about a what the fuck character.
And it would technically be like, outside of Mii Fighters, our first Smash original character, technically. Mm-hmm. I'd be okay with that. That'd be fucking cool.
Yep.
How a lot of other crossover fighting games, they have like an OC character who's like driving the plot. So here you go, Smash Ultimate 2, we got Dragon King, who's gonna be like the central character in the main story. Fuck it, why not?
After all, we had Taboo. Let's wait until you find out. Taboo was originally a character in the Dragon King demo.
Taboo was the name of the blue character because blue Taboo. And Dragon King was the red character, and the green one was Sick Boy.
Okay, I like that, like the Mucinex guy.
Yeah.
Cool. And what was the yellow one?
Piss. I couldn't think of anything else. I'm sorry. I tried, and then you asked me, and I had to go with what I had. I could have said Jerry. Damn it.
Yeah, you could have.
Fuck. It's Jerry now, and Piss is just an unfortunate nickname he got in middle school, and it never left.
Yeah, because all the other characters are his middle school classmates.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. God.
I'm sorry.
Just imagine all the cool shit Sakurai has just at his disposal. Dragon King on his computer and whatever the hell else. Like,
apparently Nintendo is really good about preserving their own stuff. Like, we've heard about how like Square Enix has lost game code. Like, they lost all of Final Fantasy VIII's original code. And apparently there was some other game that they'd lost the code for, but Nintendo had it. So Nintendo was able to help them out and be like, it's literally in our back office, just like collecting us. You want it? Come get it. We'll hand you the key.
They weren't like, remember when Final Fantasy VII came out on the PS1?
Remember when you made Mario RPG? Make another one, and we'll give you the key. Square Enix is just like, shit. The fans have been wanting that for years, but do we really want to do that? God.
Mm-hmm. It's like, no, we want a gacha game instead.
We can do Mario RPG 2, or we can do Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 20.
Oh yeah, Chocobo Racing 2 with the gacha mechanic.
It's actually GP actually isn't even the first Chocobo Racing game.
Oh, okay. There we go. Yeah, and just the random stuff that he does. Tell that to the player first was a really great recent video. I concur. Talking about clarity versus style and getting into some of the stuff that his wife gets into with graphic design.
Yeah. And she's been designing the menus for all his games at least since Brawl. Because you can tell, because when I looked up the media for it, it's like, yep, this is a Sakurai game. I can tell from the menu.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe from Air Ride, since Air Ride is very similar to
that's right. Air Ride was before Brawl. That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
I don't know about Melee. I don't know if she did Melee's menu.
Mm-hmm.
64 and Melee have very standard menu layouts.
Yeah, they do. Melee has some of that cool wireframe stuff in the background, but it's just an aesthetic thing as opposed to like this is the foreground and what you're getting. Mm-hmm. And he has some good insight, like keeping rewards in sight, where he was giving a spotlight on some kind of obscure games by today's standard, like the first
Yeah.
East game, Faxinadu on the NES. It's like, what?
Yeah.
And saying these games are great examples of, having an experience bar on the menu or whatever, and making your player invested in keeping, and as a gamer who's not a developer, something unlocks in your brain. You're like, oh yeah, that's why I enjoyed this game so much,
Yeah.
because of all of these different elements of the development that went right. Not from a story standpoint or a character standpoint, or even from a strictly in-your-face gameplay standpoint, but from the menus, from the very intricate input that went into the animation per frame. It's just all these random little things that a developer like Sakurai knows that makes your brain happy.
Yep.
And it's pretty interesting. I also really liked the like episodes like Assigning Animations or the Smash episode where you get a look at the actual like development screen for Smash.
Yeah.
And you're looking, yeah, and you're looking
We
at
saw
like,
his design documents, and like he was flipping through those really fast. And I was like, no, pause, read all this. Pause, read all this. Pause, read all this. I was like, oh. I wish he went a little deeper on some things, because like there's some things we know about, because he said before that was like, yeah, I wanted to put Final Smashers in Smash 64, but that wasn't mentioned in here. But he's also been very dedicated to not having these videos be too long. His longest video is a 10-minute video, which for a lot of YouTubers, that's the shortest they'll do, because that's where they get the ad revenue, is at $10 or at 10 minutes. But Sakurai doesn't care about that, and I'm so glad that he's not doing the nonsense. Like he actually, he kind of like, in a way, like he didn't like harp on it hard, but you could tell like in his intro video for the channel, it's like he's kind of knocking a little bit on how the algorithm works with those things. It's just like literally, like he's mentioned that like he's losing money making this channel. He's not making anything off of it, but he is paying a staff that's helping him produce it and edit everything. Like he's making this whole thing for the fans at a loss. It's like, goddamn.
Yeah, it's like the hot dogs at Costco, but better.
Well, like one of my favorite episodes that he's done, like I feel like wasn't really connected to game design at all, but it was just so funny, and now it was like a little bit meta in itself, because he's talking. Its presentations are all about speed, talking about how like, hey, when you're making a presentation or a pitch on a game or anything, keep it fast, get to the point, don't do a whole bunch of random fluff. Like a 2-hour podcast episode. But the funny thing about this, like, while I didn't really have like, there wasn't really like a lot of game design kind of stuff in that, it's also his shortest video, and it's only 1 minute and 9 seconds. He's just like, keep the presentation short. And here's an example. Goodbye. It's like, fucking what? Like, I feel like I had a little bit of whiplash from that. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
It's over? Yeah. Holy shit. You madman.
Fairly clever. Yeah, and I like how he talks about, we get some videos too, like we get, speaking of meta and fourth wall, we get peerings into his personal life as well. Him talking about his TV setup and how he has 2 TVs set next to each other so he can play a video game while streaming a TV show at the same time, while working out on his exercise bike. And I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, exercise while you game, and don't walk down 50 flights of stairs 10 times and break your ankle like I did. And I was like, what? At his apartment complex.
Yeah.
This is obviously rather deluxe in the city.
That's my least favorite video, because I'm just like, I'm sorry, sir. I'm not here to be told to exercise. Listen, if I wanted to do that, I would have kept playing Ring Fit Adventure instead of quitting like a little bitch.
It was a fucking great video.
Yeah, it was an exhausting video made over the course of several days. Several days. Your ass. It kicked one level kicked my ass, and then seriously? I would be like, I'm gonna do a second one in a row. I should not have done a second one in a row.
No,
you gotta do that the rest of the episode now.
Okay.
You got 1 hour and 10 minutes to go.
Fuck.
That's
you didn't tell me to set the resistance up.
Set it up.
Okay.
Every 10 minutes, it's got to go up.
10 minutes? Okay, well, we'll get there in the next hour, I'm sure.
We'll get there in 10 minutes.
Okay,
But
tell me one that is.
it's been such a great channel. Like, I can't even imagine like what other kinds of like just like general topics we're gonna get. Like, we know we're gonna get topics on Melee, Air Ride, Brawl, Meteos, Smash 4, actually, well, Kid Icarus before Smash 4, and then Ultimate. But
Oh my god.
I don't know if like he's gonna do like the other Kirby games, that maybe he was just like a producer or an advisor for. I don't know if he's gonna cover anything like that, or what he'll do when he runs out of game concept videos. Well, is that when he's gonna announce his next game? Doubt it. But like, we got game essence, audio, planning, game design. He's got these different categories that he's pulling from: UI, work ethic, effects. Which, honestly, to talk about the effects steps where he just like make it pop, add all these cool little effects for these different things. To be perfectly honest, I kind of think Sakurai's gone a little bit overboard when it comes to some effects. In all honesty, Smash 4 and Ultimate add a lot of flashy effects whenever you get like a big hit or something in the game, and it's kind of been distracting to me, and to a degree. It's not as bad as it initially was, like when we were first seeing things in like reveal trailers and whatnot, but I could definitely do with some less effects. It's like, I get it.
Like
I did a big hit. I don't need this red and black lightning zigzag across the screen. It's like, that's a little excessive to me.
Yeah, I think it comes down to personal taste then, and then Sakurai's taste is obviously a little flowy.
Yeah.
I do like some of the effects, like when he made a point on zooming in for
Yeah.
a final smash or something. I do like that.
Yeah.
Aesthetic.
It like in a 1v1 match, having that zoom in when you get like a killing blow, that's a pretty cool moment. Like, what's one of our favorite things when we're going through the classic mode in Melee? When we finish the match and the game like has that slow down and the camera zooms on your character, and we're all trying to do like this whatever pose or a taunt or something, have the game freeze on that moment. That's got to be one of everybody's favorite things about Melee, at least for those people that do classic mode and not just competitive. Which not knocking competitive, but obviously if they don't do classic mode, then they don't know what I'm talking about. That can't be one of their favorite things. Right. But that's always a cool thing. And then the later Smash games don't have that anymore in the classic mode, which is just like, oh, that's disappointing.
Yeah, it's a little sad. Get back on it, Sakurai. Make it pop.
Yeah, Sakurai. Slow down for big moments.
Yeah, fun is infinity, Sakurai.
It's funny because like
game, Sakurai. God.
It's funny how like there are some topics where it's just like clarity versus style, back to whole menus and whatnot. It's like, to a degree, I also think like Brawl was fine. Smash 4 has a few issues, but like the menuing is sometimes getting confusing now with Smash Brothers. So it's funny when he has a video talking about clarity versus style for menuing. It's like, you're kind of breaking it a little bit yourself. Like, finding where some things are in the menus in Ultimate is a bitch. It's like, where the fuck is fucking Mii Fighters? Why is classic mode under games and more?
Yeah, it makes you think it's rather extraneous. Like it's an afterthought mode when it is one of the main modes in the game.
Exactly, or at least it used to be. Yeah, now it feels like it's a sub game now.
Yeah, that's true.
All-Star mode doesn't even exist in Smash Ultimate, and don't even give me that fucking multi-man melee bullshit. That's not All-Star mode. That was a cheap way to do All-Star mode. Hey, Sakurai, which one is it? Which video am I looking for here? Try telling that to the players, Sakurai, about why you dropped All-Star mode. It was easier, but that's not what the players wanted. We still love Sakurai though. Like we're poking at him, we're having fun. Yeah. But It is funny how it's like, the guy's not perfect. We don't worship him. He ain't perfect. But it is funny when there are things that he talks about. It's just like, you're right, but here's where you didn't do that.
Yeah. He's and like, why does Smash Tour exist, Sakurai? or Master and Crazy Orders. I'm really interested in hearing it. Yeah.
I don't hate Smash 2 or Master and Crazy Orders. Master and Crazy Orders are a way. It's kind of like a proto version of Spirits in a way, where you can have these matches in weird conditions and you can get rewards for doing them well. Smash Tour, he was trying to go for something casual and light and fun. He was trying to do, he was trying to make a board game out of Smash Brothers, and it just didn't work. He tried something. Do I like playing it? No. Did I play it more than I thought I would? Yeah. That's mostly just because it was something that took very little mental energy to do, and I still wanted to play the game.
Yeah. For me, it was like, oh, what's this mode? When a friend comes over or whatever, a family. It's like, I guess I'll show you.
Yeah.
I guess I'll show you.
It's an attempt at a board game, and it just didn't work. No.
Mm-hmm.
Not everything does.
Yeah, like Mario Party 10.
Or Chibi Robo Ziplash.
Oh, God. Sakurai would never make Chibi Robo Ziplash. We can give him that much.
No, he would make a Chibi Robo Assist Trophy.
I wish. I would still go for a playable Chibi Robo, although that seems very unlikely to hope for.
We've both talked about over the years about possibly making a Chibi Robo character, but but the wiki doesn't give me any good information that I need to look at. So I'd have to either play the game, which it's GameCube, good fucking luck getting that, or finding a video of somebody else playing it, which I've thought about doing. But right now I'm kind of in the middle of watching the whole Metal Gear Solid saga, so I'm busy on watching games right now. I'm in the middle of Metal Gear Solid 3 right now. I'm making progress.
It's that's an odyssey in itself.
Fucking Christ. Speaking of another genius, God fucking damn Kojima. You fucking mad. It's no wonder these two are best friends.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And even Kojima, he does have some interesting tangents he's went on. Death Stranding is not bad, but it's definitely controversial in terms of the split on who enjoys it and who doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And then whatever happened, whether it was Kojima or Konami with David Hayter and Metal Gear Solid 5. But besides that, I really enjoyed the Phantom Pain as well. Wait until you get there.
Yeah.
I know elements that feel incomplete, but
I know small bits of it, if only because the Let's Player that I've been watching Metal Gear Solid 4 recorded the games in a different order than I'm watching them. Like, I watched Metal Gear 1 and 2, then Solid, and then Ghost Fable, and then 2, and now 3. But he recorded MG 1 and 2 and Ghost Fable after doing 1 through 5.
Oh,
I think Rising is the last game he did in order. And that's going to be, I think... No, that one... Because I'm watching in release order. Rising, I believe, released before 5, I think.
Gotcha.
So I'll be watching that before
Gotcha.
then. So I'll probably get some 5 spoilers whenever I watch Rising, but it's whatever.
So I will share with you Chibi Robo for the GameCube.
Yeah.
If you want it on eBay right now, it's $216.
Man.
Oh, and
I don't even have my GameCube
case.
anymore. I have my Wii somewhere, but it hasn't been turned on in years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have both right in my closet. Luckily, they both work. So if we want to, if a GameCube or Wii game won the streaming contest, I could do it.
We'd have to figure out something because you can't. They don't have an HDMI port.
Okay. Well, I'll say this. Technically, I own the game, so I can emulate them on a computer. That's fine. Also, if you play,
legally, we do not endorse this. Nintendo Ninjas. Legally, we do not endorse that. I just have to say that legally.
Yes. Correct. Yes. Legal tort. Very true. But I do own the games. Even Chibi Robo, which is $216 on eBay now. And you wonder why some people may do it by other means.
Yeah.
It's also $125 just for the box.
It's like sometimes you have to say
Chibi Robo case. Yeah.
It's like sometimes when you say something in a recording or whatever, you have to respond. It's like, for legal reasons, I must say that is a joke.
Yeah, it's like if we went on the tangent about McDonald's for 20 minutes, like, oh yeah, the Big Mac is great. whatever, we'd have to be like, oh, for the record, not a sponsor, although you can be. We have that Ronald McDonald episode. If you want to go back and pay into that a little bit, that's fine by me.
Can we be sponsored by something cool?
Yeah, Ronald McDonald. That's a good guy.
Can we not be sponsored by Apex Gaming or fucking whatever bullshit they're doing?
Right, like I don't know how much I want to say about that, because what if one of those companies comes, we'll give you a $5,000 right now to put like how fast will we sell out?
I would not sell out for fucking Raid Shadow Legends. I was like, you can give me $10,000 and I'm not fucking shilling it. First of all, that'd be a terrible people, because that's not kind of game either of us are going to want to play. Now, if they were like, hey, we'll give you $10,000 if you make a character move step for a Raid Shadow Legends character, it's like, all right, fine. Fuck, I'm in for that. But I'm not going to tell people to play your game, and I'm not going to play it myself.
So, they have far more influential people already doing that anyway. As far as, although we're getting there, 23 views on the NES video, baby.
Woo!
Woo! Sakurai already got like over 100,000 subscribers in like a week on his channel. It's so you see, we're a very small fraction of that. He's sharing the wealth.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. Every game that Sakurai has made, except for one, has a character in Smash.
Medios.
Medios. But what the fuck do you do with them? I don't know. It's weird to me that they're not even a spirit.
Yeah.
I wonder if he tried this for some reason legally he couldn't or whatever. Like maybe the company wouldn't let him. I don't know.
Which is interesting because, you know, it's free money for an unknown company.
I mean,
but, yeah.
His company, Sora Limited, made the first game. But I don't know, like, if somebody else, like, owns the IP or what.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, it says Q Entertainment is the developers who made Lumines, which I don't know those games.
Mm-hmm.
And then they made all the or at least they made Meteos Wars. I don't see Meteos Online on here. There's also Meteos Disney Magic and Meteos Mobile.
Disney Magic.
Oh, there's Meteos Online. Goodness. Yeah. These guys own the Meteos IP quite clearly, but I don't know. Like they are definitely not a big company.
Yeah, they are still around though. I mean, they made Lumines on PS4.
Yeah, their most recent game was 2014, Heroes of Infinity on the PS Vita. Supposedly, their wiki page might just be really outdated though, because it also says games in development, Angel Sinki, to be announced for a release date, but being developed for the PC and PlayStation 3. It's like I get the feeling that they are either dead or this is very outdated.
They've definitely done at least a few remasters since then. Or Sony's footed them or something.
Oh.
Yeah.
Tangents. The company was founded by Tetsuya Mizuguchi, who used to work at Seiya, but then he left the company in 2013, and the parent company went defunct.
Mm-hmm.
And now he founded Enhanced Games in 2014, which he's the CEO of.
Interesting. What have they done?
I don't know. There's not a wiki page for it.
Maybe not. I think maybe they made like an Inspector Gadget game or something.
Oof. Oh, look! Apparently, it's working on a VR and AR technology.
Okay, well, you know, when technology catches up with that industry and gaming, I'm sure that there will be a whole subset of people that buy into it. It's never going to be me. That's probably never going to be me, but at least that guy will make some money. Tetsuya. What other videos come to mind off Sakurai's channel that we really gravitated towards? I really enjoyed the opening video when I saw it the day that it was announced and came out.
Yeah.
And he made it abundantly clear right from the start. He's like, I'm Masahiro Sakurai, and I'm not going to be streaming games, and I'm not going to be a VTuber. And people were like, "Oh no!" I love that just dryness from that dude.
It's
That was
like,
pretty
this ain't
great.
why I'm here.
No, it's like I'm here to provide y'all an education. We're gonna leave the streaming to Jonno when he has that contest in our gaming Discord, or or to Select Start Gaming with Zantok and Way Off Trail.
Yeah, which is currently uploading new Pokemon Snap and whatever the fuck Way Up Trail's uploading. Flame in the Flood or Fire in the Flood or something like that. Flame and Fire. I don't know what the fucking game is. I don't watch this bullshit.
Fire in the
Flame in the
Flood.
Flood. That's what he's uploading.
Flame in the Flood.
Yeah.
Indie game.
I don't know.
Kind of like a polygonal thing. Yeah. Okay. I think I know it loosely.
I can tell you this:
But
new
yeah.
Pokemon Snap. I will go through and I get every single request done in the game, so you can see that. I don't get every single star photo of every Pokemon. That I don't fucking do, but I do clear every request.
Sweet. And we did mention this on the show a while ago, but while we're on this tangent, I will also add that our Select Star Gaming collaboration, our first one, overviewing each board in Mario Party Superstars, is also up. It's a quick watch. It's a few hours each episode, 5 episodes covering each board. That was a lot of fun. We definitely have opinions on which boards are best.
It's not the Yoshi one.
No, and it's not Woody Woods either.
Nope.
Good lord. I think the Yoshi one just barely edges out as the worst, just because, from a design concept. It's bogus.
Yeah, it was not very good. Now maybe like the star thing, if it had just worked out better with the RNG we got, maybe we would have enjoyed it more. But the RNG was very bad for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And getting back on track for a minute here too. Sakurai, I mean, that he's doing this and he's investing, and there is like a light working from the algorithm's perspective too, where they're making great little logos for every episode.
Yeah.
Making sure the title fits. There's a nice category. I mean, it looks like a professional page. It plays off like a professional page. A lot of these videos, they play off and they look as good as his menus in Smash do.
Yeah.
Better. Like, yeah, arguably so. They're cleaner. I think if we really did start to grow as a channel, there's things we can learn from an aesthetic perspective.
One of my favorite things that is in every one of his videos is the outro, because it looks like when you finish a level in a Sonic game, he's like level cleared. It's like, that's fucking cool. That's a great way to put your outro on a video. I love that.
And he has that little loaded. Yeah, when we start pouring in money on this podcast, we'll be doing the same thing.
I've thought about just like on all the thumbnails for the YouTube videos, just like editing something onto the logo. Like what I just have to check like what episode of last came out recently, because I want to make sure I don't say something in the future. Our King Boo Smashtopia episode, just like adding a picture of King Boo onto that thumbnail. That's something that I kind of want to do, and like have like a different thing for each episode, but I'd have to go back to every episode and do that, and then I'd have to do it for every future episode. It's like, okay.
It would help, but it's a time investment, that's for sure. Like a real big, and that's why people like Sakurai, they have a team that he pays for it.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be. I honestly don't think it'd be too bad conceptually. It's just gonna be one more thing that has to be done for every episode.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe I can do it on my end and just send you the image. I mean, I have Canva and all that shit. I'm sure I can figure something out.
Yeah. I mean, I would just end up using a site that I've used before that like lets me put images on top of each other. What's the site called? Overlay.imageonline.co has been a lifesaver for some projects I've done. It's like, yes, love that site.
And like lunapic.com, like there's random. Yep.
Lunapic aside, I've been doing any transparencies I need to do, and then Overlay just lets me literally overlay 2 pictures on top of each other, which is like, God, yes, that's what I would be doing for the logo thing.
What you can do on one program for down payment subscription, you can do on 100 free programs online for free.
Yep.
Not as intuitive, but I mean, it saves you some cash.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And I'm cool with it. And something else too about Sakurai's channel. I hope that this is the paves the way for other developers to get on board with this. Like Hideo Kojima would be a great one to do this with, although he may have the exact opposite development style for these videos. Whereas Sakurai is making these crisp videos on generally under 10 minutes, usually lingering around 2 to 3 minutes. Kojima might be like, "Here is my introduction video," and then you'll be watching a 4-hour opera.
Yeah, it's a 7-hour introspection on his entire life and what Solid Snake means to him.
Yeah, start featuring Norman Reedus.
And it's also funny because like this whole thing also spawned off from him making an appearance on. I want to make sure I get his full name correct. Katsuhiro Harada, the developer for Tekken, because he appeared on Harada's. I don't know if it's a YouTube channel or just like a podcast, and he was on there a couple times and he enjoyed it. And he's like, maybe I should do something like this, and that's part of what inspired this. Like, goddamn.
And I remember Harada as well had said, like, "Thank you. I know you're so busy making amazing games. Thank you for being on this lovely podcast, Sakurai-san." And he's like, "Oh, no, this is great. Thanks." And he turns around and makes a whole channel. Yeah, Harada's another one of Sakurai's good friends.
Yeah.
He tends to keep some pretty good company. Or interesting in some respects.
Imagine if we got Hideki Kamiya to do a thing like this. Oh boy.
You're like, "Hello, you bugs. I will not be translating these videos into English."
I will say that's one thing I do wish Sakurai did. Is like, we get subtitles, but I wish we also just had like somebody dubbing over that could say what he's actually saying in English. Because like a lot of times I'll be trying to watch these like in the morning. I'm not fully awake yet, or I'm doing something for work, or I have a game up, and I can't really watch a sub video while doing something else. I have to just watch the video, and it's 90% of the time when I'm watching a video, I'm doing something at the same time. I have to have my attention split, where I go kind of crazy. I can't just focus on the one thing. So it does make it hard for me to watch some of the videos, especially the longer ones. Like, it's just, can I get some English voice? I'm sorry, but please.
Yeah. You and I, we have different perspectives from this case. Yours is actually very Sakurai-esque, where he is watching two different things at the same time, doing this. Like he's a serious multitasker and wants to get as much done as possible. And like him, I mean, and like if he's anything like you, he absorbs a lot of information anyway as he's multitasking.
Yep.
On my end, I do like hearing his voice. I think there's just an extra level of connection for me that way. I'm like, oh, okay, this is cool. But at the same time, I can see the perspective of like if you are somebody in his field who's doing stuff like him or someone more like an analytical mind like yourself, wanting to do multiple things at once, it's an issue. So if there were an option, and say you can listen to an English voice, maybe down the road. Yeah. Maybe it's just a little too much for him right now.
We'll see what happens in season 2.
Yeah, we will.
Hey, our season 2 transitioned to having us be on camera.
That's true.
Things grow.
Things do grow. And you can only tell on camera. The other thing, well, I've heard murmurs in the game industry that there's at least one English-speaking voice actor that's looking for work, so he can sort it out.
Oh, I was like, what are you talking about? I'm sure there's a lot of people looking for work. It's like, oh, God damn it. I thought we were trying to avoid that.
Oh, I didn't say who it was. I didn't say anything.
Yeah, it's me. I'm looking to do serious voice acting in a video game. Square, Namco, somebody call me.
Yeah, call me too. I mean,
there's some voices I'm particularly good at.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that one. Sound like Trevor.
Yes.
Very good. Very good.
I do like my crazy, maniacal kind of characters.
No, absolutely. Like Iago and Fire Emblem Fates.
I like Iago purely because of the Let's Player I watched. gave him the Gilbert Gottfried Iago voice from Aladdin. It's like, yes.
Yeah. What a
Tom
legend, man.
Fox,
Rest
you
in peace,
magnificent bastard.
yeah. I'm sorry. Rest in peace, Gilbert Gottfried. Tom Fox is alive. He's great.
Yes, yes, he is.
Oh gosh. So yeah, I mean that's kind of the channel as it is right now. We're 27 videos in, which is a fair amount, but
Oh
because
yeah,
they're very pointed subjects and they're fairly brief, it's still not like a crazy amount of content to cover. So I kind of think we're getting, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, towards the end of our rope with just talking about the general idea of what he's covered so far.
I'd say so.
Um, but what would you like to maybe see from the channel next the most?
Um, I kind of feel like like we've seen him talk about a little bit of some different genres of games. Like he did a whole episode talking about game essence and role playing. Then he's touched on some other things like the tempo match the game. He's talked about how that can relate to some genres. But I'd kind of like to see him do like some deeper dives on specific genres. I think that'd be cool. Even if he hasn't
Mhm.
worked in really anything except for puzzle, platformer, or platform fighter. That's literally the only things he's done. Well, actually, no, Kidikaris, whatever you would consider that game, it's part on rail shooter, part something else. But I'd like to
Mhm.
see him dive on some other genres. Obviously, we know we're going to get game concept videos for all the other games that he's been a significant part of.
Mhm.
And I'm sure there's a lot of different game design type things he'll discuss, but I can't. I'm not a game designer. I don't really know. I can't think of like what someone thinks will see. Ooh, I'd like to see him talk about the practice of DLC and his
Mhm.
thoughts on that, because there's a lot of controversy that can happen with games with DLC. If a game announces that they're going to have DLC before the game is even released, or if they're working on it before the game is even released. Back in the old
Mhm.
days, Capcom, Resident Evil 5, the DLC, or most if not all of it, was already in the base game, and what you were paying for was literally a key to unlock the content. That got
Mhm.
some fucking controversy.
Mhm.
I'd like to see him talk about DLC. Actually, I think that'd be a
Yeah,
great topic.
DLC, loot crates, gotcha mechanics, that sort of
Mm.
thing.
I mean,
And even
we have
some of
gotcha in Smash, the trophy,
mhm.
the lottery in Melee, and then the little coin shooter in Brawl. We have
True.
gotcha.
Didn't have, didn't have to pay for it though, which is the game industry now.
The
But yeah,
spirit board
yeah,
is gotcha in a way too.
that's true. That's true. And I guess you are paying for the DLC related to that. Um, and even some of Nintendo's practices right now, with the Mario sports titles and how they're
Yeah.
kind of on a slow drip with DLC coming over
Games
time.
as a
Even
service
still,
would be a
yeah.
great topic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And just the traditional DLC, like even the Xenoblade games, like, oh, we have DLC coming out day one. We have DLC planned before the game comes out. Like, how
Yeah.
does he feel about that practice? Um, from that angle, it doesn't bother me much because you're just being told, okay, there's content coming in the future. The
Yeah.
Capcom thing was an issue, but we'll see what he thinks.
It can be a
Clearly,
fine line. Like when a game is still
yeah.
in beta, I can't remember what game this was, but I know like there was a game that was still in beta on Steam, but they were releasing DLC for it. Like releasing DLC. It's
Oh
like,
God.
what the fuck? That's some bullshit.
And I think that you and I both are probably looking forward to the most. I mean, clearly, the other game development, specific game stories like his Smash Brothers series, particularly the other Smash games, of course. Um, besides that,
Yeah,
maybe a sorry.
all of his like game concepts one for games he's worked on, I'm interested in all those. Like Meteos, I'm interested in less because like it's a puzzle game. I never played it, so I don't have like an interest in it. But at the same time, I'd like to see what he talks about because it is very different from
So
other games
different.
he's made, and I'm curious
Mm-hmm.
what he'd have to say about it.
So different from other puzzle games too,
Yeah,
just in general. Um, yeah, me too. Me too. I'm really looking forward to Melee and Ultimate, but and Air Ride as well. And just kind of seeing where that goes. Maybe a good topic would be like his views on uh, internet and Wi-Fi capabilities with gaming.
online modes.
Yeah, there's still some healthy debate coming around Nintendo's net framing and whatnot, and
Yeah,
he might touch loosely on that in a way that would still retain his job, but. But he's an honest guy too, and again, I really appreciate that on this channel. There's a few takes
I can't name any right off the top of my head, but where it raised an eyebrow. I was like, okay, we're actually going there.
Yeah.
I appreciate that because it's not all just straight PR. He's actually sharing himself as a person, which is pretty cool. And if he wanted to share, I mean, other elements of his life, like I enjoyed seeing his gaming setup. I enjoyed seeing his silly little exercise bike setup. If he wants to say, you know, these are the games I grew up with that influenced the development of Kirby, or I think that would be an interesting backstory kind of episode.
What got him into game creation?
Yeah, absolutely. And on one hand, I don't know if Sakurai's like the kind of guy, like the introspective person like Iwata was, or the just straight up, like speaking of PR, just like promotion service, ad services do that Reggie was, to where they both put out books for their own reasons. I don't know if he would ever put out a full memoir, but if he can talk a little bit on the channel about it, I think that'd be neat.
Yeah, I never did get Reggie's book, but if Sakurai ever put out a book like that, I'd have to get it. I'd have to.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, even if it were just about stuff like this on this channel, like business development tactics, okay.
Yeah.
I would like to pick his brain about that. Reggie's was quite interesting. Like, Reggie's was honestly why I started looking for new work. And, I mean, I like, dude, I mean, Reggie, the man who was behind Nintendo of America for a few years, who developed the Bigfoot pizza in the 90s for Pizza Hut. He was the one who was like, yeah, if you feel like you're in a dead end, leave. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, I can't. We're talking about Reggie now as a Sakurai, but like to put on that, after when he left Nintendo, he went to go work at GameStop, which, oof, what a choice. But he left them relatively not long because they weren't listening to him. Like, they hired this guy to be like in a higher position, but whenever he's trying to give his viewpoint on things or offer insight, they just completely ignore the guy. It's like, well, why did you even hire him? What the fuck was the point? And he's just like, fuck that, I'm out. I don't know where he's at now, what he's doing now, but I'm sure he's got something.
Yeah, he has a very capital driven mind. He'll wedge himself in somewhere, and
he'll be fine wherever he goes. He'll be fine.
Absolutely.
He'll end up being the new guy in charge of Warner Discovery.
God.
What a nightmare.
So, I mean, maybe Sakurai can have Reggie on his show one day and talk about how the nondescript action figure almost made it into Smash.
Reggie will be the person dubbing into English.
God. Yeah, that's his new job. He's getting paid $4,000 an episode.
Christ.
But yeah, I guess that's where we want to see maybe some slices where Sakurai takes it next, or Sakurai can tell Reggie's like, some people in the Smash ballot even voted for you. He'd be like, wow.
And that was just Reggie on this whole spiel, which is like, wow, I'm really honored, guys. Also, by the way, don't ask me about Mother 3.
Yeah, if it's anything like his book, we can ask him about how he had a role in the development of Panda Express instead. Goodness.
I mean, isn't that the same parent company as Pizza Hut, though? So that would make sense.
I don't think so. At least not originally. Like, it's Panda Inn owns Panda Express, I think. Like, its own thing. Reggie. Besides that, I mean, I think we could talk a little bit about where this episode was going originally. Like, we had an idea since season 1 of pitching an on topic, like just what we want to see Sakurai do next, and we talked about a little bit about that at the front of the episode, and we talked a little bit about it in the form of this channel, like where do we want to see the channel go next. But I think we could still do a nod towards the original idea we had for this episode all that time ago before it evolved into this, and say, as far as a game goes, this outside of Smash, what do you think you would like to? What would you like to see Sakurai do next?
Oh boy. So obviously another Smash game, but that's a bit of an obvious. We're not gonna even consider that because no shit. I'd even like just seeing like something that Smash like, but like not as a fighter, but like Give us a Nintendo racing game with like all these different Smash like Nintendo characters. It's not Super Smash Bros, but it's like a racing equivalent, or like an RPG or a rhythm game. Final Fantasy has Theta Rhythm. Why can't Nintendo get a kind of like general Nintendo rhythm game where like you have characters from Smash in it that are running around and doing things or whatever? You know, a new Kirby would be cool. I don't think he's ever going to work on Kirby again. I don't think it's going to be like a Kid Icarus remaster or something. I don't know. Before people have talked about saying like, oh, let him revitalize Ice Climbers, or Takamaru with Mysterious Murasami Castle. Let him make a new game of that. Like that'd be fucking cool. He's talked about how he would like to. He talked about before. Like I think in for Smash 4, he mentioned that he considered Takamaru, but he didn't really want to do it unless he got another game. Which I get it, but you also added in Pit before Kid Icarus Uprising.
Yeah.
But
maybe that was his ulterior motive. Like, oh, if I put Pit in this game, maybe I'll be able to do Uprising.
I mean, considering that the Uprising design is extremely similar to the Brawl design, which, you know, no shit, he made both games. But it wouldn't surprise me if he had something like that in mind. But it's hard to say like something like that, because I think whatever he does next is going to be a new IP, more than likely. I'd like to be an RPG. I like RPGs, so of course I want to see that. I think that'd be cool to see. What it would be about.
Who
the fuck knows?
Yeah.
But...
yeah, it would be a unique RPG. He would definitely throw some curveballs in the gameplay. So I'm interested in seeing where that would go.
I mean, it's funny because like I'm still a fan of the old turn-based kind of style, or at least, you know, like semi-turn-based with like ATB systems like Final Fantasy VII will use. But some companies are like, no, nobody wants to play RPGs like that. And it's like, bitch, have you not seen Bravely Default and Octopath Traveler? Those still use classic turn-based RPG systems, but they add on their own twist with the Bravery system in Bravely Default. Well, I guess Brave and Default. And then I forget what the system is in Octopath that they have for their combat. But that was a really cool system, too. It's like, we still would love those kinds of RPGs. Not everything needs to be a fucking action RPG. I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
Give me some classic shit. I think Sakurai would give us a classic game like that.
That would be cool. That would be good. Kirby RPG. Actually, yes, but he wouldn't be making it a VHOW.
With the main characters of Kirby, Dedede, and Meta Knight, and that's it. There's no fourth character.
It's Chef Kawasaki.
It's a Gordo. That's the fourth character.
I'm okay with that. That's very
actually.
strange.
I could see it being like it. Assuming this was a thing, which is not going to be a thing. If they were to make a Kirby RPG, I think that fourth character would be kind of like what the helper system is. You just like have different, and also the allies and star allies. It's just rotating enemies that you can recruit to your team in a monster catcher like way. So you could have the Poppy Brothers as that fourth party character, or you can swap them out for trying to think of other Kirby enemies. Plasma Wisp, or Bonkers, Chili.
Also Birds. Yeah.
Chili's not a Kirby enemy. What the fuck? Bronto Bird. I think that'd be a cool way to do it.
A Woofy.
Yeah. The enemy that becomes the sniper in Forgotten World, whatever that guy's called.
Yeah, I forget as well, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. That would make sense.
Yeah, and while we're on, I mean, I would love a Murasami Castle game. I mean, you could do it. I would imagine if Nintendo just kept at it with those games, you would have Zelda kind of go the slower pace, puzzle, action, adventure route.
Yeah.
And then a Murasami Castle would be like more of an action, maybe even an action platformer with sword swinging and similar like dungeon crawling.
Yeah.
So
like a smaller version of Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima, but not open world, I would say. Would be Takamaru.
I would like that. Let's go that route, Sakurai. I mean, if you do it, and if you say you want to do it, Nintendo will probably greenlight it. Go for it.
Yeah.
Put them in Smash preemptively, and then do it like you did with Bit.
Yes.
Nintendo seemed pretty warm towards the idea of a Murasami Castle remake, or rather a new game for a while.
I mean, it has a remake in like one of the Samurai Warriors games, and then it has its own section dedicated to it in fucking Nintendo Land, which is odd because like all the other games in Nintendo Land connect to something not necessarily modern for Nintendo because there's the Game & Watch one in there, but then Game & Watch is kept modern because of Smash. But then you have Takamaru has a section there, which is like one of these things is not like the other. It's like, why is that one highlighted? Like I know back in the day, Mysterious Murasami Castle was a big game on the NES, but it's gotten so little attention since then. It's just surprising that it has a section dedicated to it.
I mean, they got those two things.
The Fire Emblem does it.
Yeah. And they got the 3DS game. I mean, the 3DS NES port. And they got Sakurai Samurai, which is kind of similar in execution. So it's like, just do it. Just do the game.
Just do it.
Sakurai
they fucking brought back Famicom Detective Club, which is a surprise.
Yeah. So I would like to see that. And, not to go too far down the retro hole with this, like revitalizations, because they did it with Kid Icarus. But people have also said they want to see like a thing with the dog and the duck from Duck Hunt, make it into a platforming game. I'm like, okay, that would be funny. Let's do that.
I don't know about that.
It was their answer to Banjo and Kazooie.
That said, why is Duck Hunt not on Nintendo Switch Online yet? What the fuck? Put Duck Hunt on NSO, you cowards.
They're going to be like, oh, we had to revitalize it to match the Switch control, so it's $5.
There's IR controls in this thing, I think.
There are.
Yeah. It wouldn't be that hard. You got a light gun right here.
Yep. Yeah, there is there is a game. I forget which one. There's a cowboy gunslinging game that was out on the SNES that they redid for Switch. That's quite good. That uses the IR, so they can do it.
They can do it.
But Sakurai can do it. Make a Sakurai. Sakurai, make a light rail shooting game.
Make a Sakurai dating sim.
Yeah. Dream Daddy 2. Sorry. Or there probably already is one of those, actually.
Oh boy.
Yeah. That's that.
Let's see Sakurai talk about dating sims in one of his videos.
Oh god, he's like, and introducing my next game. You would be so mad. Like, would you even play that?
No.
I would. I sadly would. Be like, okay, let's give it a go. Then make an episode of this show out of it.
God.
Yep.
All right. Well, unless you have anything more to say, I think we pretty much said about what there is to say at this point on Sakurai's channel. If I have anything further to say, it's that if you haven't been watching it yet, you really should. It's got a lot of good insight into gaming and Sakurai's processes, and it's just been a good time watching his videos. Every time I see there's a new one, I look forward to seeing it. Though when I see there are a longer length one, I have to be like, okay, I gotta set aside some time where I can actually dedicate to looking at one screen. But it's been very enjoyable. He's got both videos in English and in Japanese, although the English ones are just subbed. But it is at least English text everywhere, and he's using the English footage of games. Like, I'm assuming the Japanese ones are using like Japanese footage games. Like, it wouldn't make much sense for when he's doing the menuing video to show the English menus in the Japanese videos. That just would be weird. But watch them. Yeah. They're good. I've been enjoying the heck out of him. He's almost got 500,000 subscribers. He's getting close to it.
And he'll get it, and then he'll get the award from Google saying like, "Oh, you hit this milestone." He'll be like, "Wow, this is great."
Yep.
I'll just set it aside, like he did with the bronze statue.
Yeah,
which is pretty funny. Yeah, Sakurai. Very glad that he's going on this journey. I will gladly follow him through on it. It's been interesting so far, educational, I would say, and fun. So thank you, Sakurai.
Actually, here is one question. While he's doing these videos, do you think he is working on something right now? Because I know there's been some debate about that.
Probably so, but I have no idea what it is.
It's like I've seen some people say he's not because they think like him working on a game and also doing all this, there would be like a conflict of interest or something where talking about game development while working on it. But I don't see that. But two, also he said straight up that doing this is at a loss for him monetarily speaking. So I can't imagine he's not doing something else at the same time. And it's not like he's making these videos every day. They don't even release every day. So I highly doubt that. He probably like records them in. He probably like doesn't record
Batches.
the set at a batch,
Yeah.
and then gets them edited. And he probably did a lot ahead of time so that he like could just like be uploaded. But he's got to be working on something. What it could be,
I agree.
who the hell knows? But I think he's definitely working on something.
You think it's going to be something grandiose like Uprising, and then it turns out it's some little indie thing that I always wanted to make a game about folding boxes.
I think it'd be more on the indie side of things, to be honest. I don't think it's gonna be like this huge grand venture. I would love it, because like Uprising is a fucking amazing game whose only flaw is the control scheme. But control schemes, that'd be a good topic for him to cover.
Yeah, you could talk about Uprising in it.
And he very well could. But yeah.
I think someone like him, there's always something brewing. He has also said himself in his videos, as we've covered today already, he is an intense multitasker. So although he's working on this project because it's a passion project to him, he is definitely doing something.
Imagine he's making that RC robot game. Man. I don't know if I would play it. I don't know if I would play it, honestly. But if he gets to make it, I'll be happy for him. Because he clearly wanted to do it.
Maybe it's partial inspiration for the Rob sections in Star Fox Zero. At which point they should give him... Yeah. They should give him a pat on the back and say, just, let's try this again and not attach it to a shitty game. He'd be like, okay.
Let's make that be how you get trophies in the next Smash game.
Okay. Sounds good to me. Play as the Ancient Minister.
Ooh. There's an idea.
Yep.
All right.
There's an idea.
Well, I think we can go ahead and wrap up there at this point. Masahiro Sakurai on Creating Games. Great YouTube channel. Better than ours.
Yeah.
Great to watch. Do, again, highly recommend it. As for what's next on Super Cast Brothers, well, we're not starting a YouTube channel about how to make podcasts. We are moving on to our second Smashtopia of the season. This character that we're doing, I'll tell you this. They're an old school character that has been considered for Smash in some way, form, or shape playable. But how heavily they were considered, or were they just a passing comment? I ain't telling you that. I'm going to tune in and find out.
Slash into this next episode, why don't you?
Avoid the spiky balls. Is that a
we
hint?
covered that.
Or is that me making a bullshit? I'm not telling. See you all then! Bye, everyone.
See ya.